So every single thing that we did on this journey, the door closed right behind us. You know, you enter, you go through the door, and then you hear, okay, we're not taking anybody else, cut off, cut off. That's what happened to us. Hi peeps, let me formally introduce myself to you. I am Rochelle, Jamaican to the bone, but I'm living in Canada. And I just want to share my story of how I moved to Canada. In 2023, I decided that I am going to apply for a Canadian visa. So my brother-in-law would have already been living in Canada, and he had extended a invitation to me, my husband, and my daughter. So at that time when I moved to Canada, it was me, my husband, and my 3-year-old daughter then. She was 3, right? So first of all, my husband and myself, we were never foreign minded. The idea of moving to Canada came to me before because I had had friends move and then my brother-in-law, and my friends were always encouraging me to move because they said like this is the right move and the best move that they have ever made in their life. Now, as I said, me, patriotic, Jamaican to the bone, so I wasn't really interested. And furthermore, I believe that my job in Jamaica was a good job and I was doing good. I already have my house, my vehicle. You know, I was doing good. So I think that, you know what? I love Jamaica, so I'm gonna stay. However, 2022, 2023, work was very stressful and I just can't reconsider moving. My husband wasn't so open-minded to it, so I was the main person that was really open-minded. So I decided that, you know what, if he doesn't want to, I'm not going to force him, because when I reach Canada and when the struggle start, because I know that the road is not paved with gold, I know that there will be challenges. So I don't want him to say that, listen, you know, say you make me move or anything or start to complain and wanting to go back home. So I decided that, you know what, until he made up his mind, until he started to become a bit frustrated in his job and that's not what he really wants to do. Mind you, we both had good paying job in Jamaica. Wasn't bad. Both of us had some, like I have supervisor position, most time managerial, and his position was a supervisory management position too. He started to, you know, become, both of us, we were like, listen, this is not it, because when my job becomes stressful, I was looking to find another job, but I do realize in Jamaica you can go so far. You have to have like maybe a master's or, you know, a next level, the PhD degree, and know a lot of people to move up. While I was trying to get other jobs, I do get job offer, but the salary that they were offering to pay me was far less than I was getting in my job. And then I realized, damn, I was in a good paying job in Jamaica. Like, this job not bad, but it comes with a whole lot of stress and it was very toxic. And listen, I can't take toxic work environment. So I decided, you know what? Come on, babes, let's try the Canada. One day I pick up my phone and I phoned my brother-in-law and we spoke about the option. Now, the option that I wanted to take, or I was considering to take, is the student visa, right? But then I know that there was a thing then that it started in COVID. If someone was in Canada and on a visitor visa and they could get a job, they could apply for their work permit. So I decided to make the move. But we applied for a visitor visa, and within 21 days we were approved and we got our visa. Now, my plan was to just go for a family vacation in the summer, that on my regular vacation period, and see what Canada is all about, and then return and then make my decision and my next move. Lo and behold, it didn't happen that way. We went on a vacation and within a week my husband got a job. Now, my husband's skill was he repairs phone, computer, and the whole works. Television, he's a skilled person, and he was self-taught at that point, but he's good at it. He can even repair circuit board. So he got a job under the rural renewal stream on the first week of being here in Canada. No, that sounds good, right? But it wasn't easy because we had to go through the process of getting our paperwork done, and it was not easy. It was like a roller coaster thingy. So at first we had to gain some knowledge. We were using some immigration personnel, but they themselves, and I say this, guys, not every immigration advisor or whatever they are knows everything, and not all the time they advise you the correct way, because the advice we got actually stalled us for some months, right? Until we decided to, you know what, let's check it out on our own and start the journey. And I must say, we had we had support. Like, our support was huge, because remember, he already had his brother here who had been through the process, and he knows a lot about the immigration process. So without that support, it would be really, really hard for us. Matter of fact, I'm not sure if I would be in Canada today. We went, did the research, and apply on our own. Now, after submitting all this application, it take us one month to get an endorsement from the city, either between a month and two. And after we get the endorsement from the city, now we apply for the provincial nominee, and that took us November, December, January, February, March, April, about 6 months. Yes, about 6 months. Now, while we were waiting for 6 months, remember now, we'd have already been in Canada, not working. Not working. We had some savings that we took from Jamaica, and yeah, that helped. But without family support, it couldn't work. So we had the support, and that was a lot. During the 6 months, well, technically, we were waiting since we have arrived in Canada in July 2023. We got our work permit in May, I think May 9, 10. So July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, well, 10 months. So imagine being a country as a visitor, 10 months, not working. Yeah, I'm used to working, and I'm used to being independent. So it drove me nuts. But then again, the support was real, so it kind of cushioned me a little bit. You might be wondering, how could we stay in Canada for 10 months on a visitor visa, not working? We applied for a visitor record. So when we entered the country, we'd have gotten 6 months to stay, gotten the job. Now we didn't want to leave Canada, because of course you could stay in Canada and apply. So what we did, we applied for a extension on our visitors and the period that we should stay in Canada, and we got an additional year, which we didn't need it, because we applied for the extension in November, December, and we got an additional year. But by May, we got the work permit. Now, guys, let me tell you, see, this journey, it was all about the grace of God and His goodness and the favor on us. Remember, I said to you, we came on a visitor's visa, and then my husband got a job offer, and we applied for the work permit, also permanent residence, because that job offer that he got was under the rural renewal stream, which could give you PR. That is also in the making right now. We got the work permit, and then after, right then and there, because I had jobs waiting on me. Like, I've been on so many interviews, and every single interviews I've been on, at that point, I got the job. I was just waiting on the work permit, because what I was trying to do is to see if, while I was waiting on the rural renewal stream, if I could get an LMIA job. So with an LMIA, I could get a work permit right away. So when we got the provincial nominee, I didn't waste any time. We didn't waste any time. We just pack up, rent a vehicle, and drove straight to the US border and flagpole. Now, guys, flagpoling is like when you exit the country and just turn around at the border and get your documents. So it would be treated as if you were just entering Canada again. When I say this was God grace, I I say this because everything that we did on this journey has changed after, like almost immediately after we did it. No, you cannot come to Canada anymore on a visitor's visa and apply for a work permit. If you come to Canada as a visitor visa and you got a job, you'd have to exit Canada, leave Canada, and then apply outside of Canada for the work permit and come back, right? You cannot flagpole anymore. Nope, nope, nope. You have to apply online and wait, and it will take a longer time. Flagpole is instant. You get the document right away, but applying online, it will take about 4-6 months, depending on what you're applying for. And next thing too, rural renewal stream, it's on pause no longer. So every single thing that we did on this journey, the door closed right behind us. You know, you enter, you go through the door, and then you hear, okay, we're not taking anybody else, cut off, cut off. That's what happened to us. And why I know that God hand was in this is when I was supposed to leave Jamaica to Canada. The time that I was planning to visit Canada was in August, but it ended up that I came earlier. We made the decision in June, and I had 1 month, and I came July because something was kind of in the pipeline, even though it fell through. But I was unsure if I should have just leave my job and made that move. But I prayed about it, and the same night I prayed about it, I went to bed, and the answer came directly to me in a dream. And the answer was, the time is now. And I said, Lord, say no more. And I just packed up and we migrated to Canada. But guys, it is not easy. Even though as I sit here and I tell you about how I migrated to Canada, one might think that, wow, that's so easy. It's not. It is not. It's not easy. It's a different environment from where you're coming from, especially us coming from the tropics in Jamaica, and we had to adjust to this new environment. We had to, like, I was stressed. Some of the time I was really stressed adjusting, plus just being there and not working. So for me it wasn't really an easy procedure, and I know that a lot of people that migrated had it harder than us, far, far, far harder. So comparing to our process, it was way easier than a lot, and I do understand it, and I'm very grateful. But it still wasn't as smooth as it looked, and it was like an emotional roller coaster for me, especially leaving. I had a big daughter. Well, I have a big daughter, and I had to leave her in Jamaica because she was approaching what, third form. She was in third form, and I wanted her to finish high school. Plus, under that circumstances, I didn't want to take her until, everything sorted out. Now she's here with me in 2025, graduated from high school. She is doing her final year at high school in Canada. She graduated from high school in Jamaica, fifth form, but when she graduated, she was 16. Now, high school in Canada goes up to 12th grade. it would be like sixth form in Jamaica. She came from with me last summer after I went to her graduation. She was able to attend high school here and to do grade 12, which would equivalent to sixth form. Plus, majority of the students in her class, they are like 18, and she's 16. Just recently turned 17. So it's much better now, but the whole process wasn't as gravy as the one would thought. So that is my journey, guys, here, and there is a lot to it. I also want to share about after I received my work permit and like going on our own, because at that time I was still living with my brother-in-law, because the plan was like, you know, come stay for 2 weeks and then move on. But we stayed with them for 1 year because at that time, as I said, we weren't working. So yes, we stayed there for 1 year, and then I get to move out. We move out, you know, rent our own apartment, and we start living independently and doing things on our own. And also working, and just switching over to, you know, working in Canada. That too was another roller coaster experience for me. And again, the favor of the Lord was on our life, because there were a lot of things that had happened that we think no, it could be no other but Jesus Christ himself. Stick around, guys. I have a lot more videos to share about our experience and how me and my family migrated to Canada, and how it has been, and how life as a new immigrant is in Canada. Thank you guys for tuning in. I also want you to comment down below your experience. Ask any question that you want to ask me. I can also respond to them in my next video. Can also do a question and answer. And guys, click the notification bell so you can be alerted when I drop these videos. All right, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to this channel, watch the videos, like. Don't be afraid to comment below. I'll answer all the comments. Very sure about that. All right, take care, guys, until the next video. Thank you.